Okay, so welcome everybody to our Litha Summer Solstice celebration. For those who don't know me, my name is Selena Madden. I have been practicing witchcraft since I was a child and didn't have the terminology or the foundation for it, and found that foundation when I became friends with basically a coven. They were family, they were mentors, they were sisters and brothers, and that was in around, oh, let's just say 25 years ago. So this is part of just who I am. I have a doctorate in mythological studies and depth psychology, so I do like to bring my scholarship into my practice as well. So I typically start with just a mini ritual just to understand the basis for the particular practice that we are engaging in, or the time of year, the season, the full moon, whatever it is, just so we have that understanding. So, what is Litha or Letha? I say both. So, before anyone called it Letha, people gathered to honor this moment, the moment of the summer solstice. And I'm calling it the fire at the threshold for this year. So, the summer solstice marks the longest day of the year when the sun appears to pause at the height of its journey before beginning its gradual descent. And across cultures, this was recognized as a threshold moment. It's a moment of fullness, of vitality and power, but also a reminder that nothing remains at its peak forever. People lit fires, gathered herbs, blessed their fields and their homes, and celebrated the abundance of the season. But woven through these celebrations was also an understanding that the wheel was already turning. The light reached its greatest expression, and from that very moment, the days will slowly begin to shorten. So the word Litha or Litha is much newer than many people realized. Its origins are often traced to the writings of the Anglo-Saxon monk Bede, B-E-D-E, who recorded the names of the months used by pre-Christian Germanic peoples. And then centuries later, modern pagan and Wiccan traditions adopted the term Litha as the name for the summer solstice within the wheel of the year. So while we do not know exactly how ancient peoples may have observed a festival called Litha, we do know that midsummer celebrations were widespread throughout Europe and beyond. Bonfires blazed on hilltops. People danced around these flames, leapt over the fires, and they did this for blessings, for fertility and protection. And then they would carry the embers back to guard their homes. Sacred wells and springs were visited. Herbs gathered were believed to hold particular potency. Communities came together to honor the life-giving power of the sun at the height of its strength. What draws me, and those of you who know me, is not just the celebration itself, it's the paradox. I love thresholds. I love these liminal spaces and these moments of transition, and that's what I like to bring into this summer solstice celebration. So the way I look at it, it's not just a celebration of light. It's a reminder that every moment of fullness contains the seed of change. The sun reaches its highest point and immediately begins its gradual descent. The wheel turns and the seasons shift. So the solstice reminds me that fullness and impermanence are not opposites, they are companions. Every blossom eventually withers. Every harvest is eventually gathered, and every peak contains the seed of descent. It's not a tragedy. It's not something to be bothered or upset by. It's just the rhythm of life. So, what I like to offer, the deeper wisdom of the summer solstice or Litha, is not to cling to the light, but to fully inhabit it while it is here. Celebrate what's flourishing, acknowledge what's changing, and standing with both awareness and gratitude at this threshold between what has been and what is becoming. So, this paradox is what I invite you to keep in mind as we move into our ritual. So, go ahead and get yourself settled. That is the mini lecture. And if you like, you can close your eyes or just soften your gaze and feel the support beneath you. whether it's your sits bones or your feet on the floor. And notice your breath without trying to influence it or change it. Just notice it. Notice the quality of light around you. Maybe if your eyes are closed, you can still see that light behind your eyelids. Maybe the sunlight is still lingering outside. Maybe it's been rainy and cloudy. Just notice the quality of that light. The questions to keep in mind for this solstice is not just what is flourishing, but what is being revealed. Because light reveals, it illuminates what has been hidden. It shows our gifts, our strengths, our desires, our longings. But it also reveals what can no longer be ignored. What has become too small? What has become exhausted? What has reached its natural conclusion? This is the threshold. The threshold is neither one thing nor another. It is the doorway. It is the crossroads. It's the shoreline. It's the moment before a decision. It's the breath between who we have been and who we are becoming. And at this threshold, we may encounter Hecate, one of my patron goddesses. She is the keeper of crossroads and the guardian of liminal spaces. May we encounter Kali, another one of my patron goddesses, whose fire burns away illusion and attachment. We may encounter Freya from the Norse traditions, who teaches us that beauty and desire and sovereignty and loss are never truly separate. These are powerful goddesses, and I choose them both to work with and to introduce into this ritual because they remind us that transformation is not always gentle. Sometimes transformation arrives as a revelation. Sometimes it arrives as a release, and sometimes it arrives as fire. So our gathering tonight or today is not simply to celebrate the light. We're gathering to listen to it, to ask what it is showing us, to honor what is thriving, to acknowledge what is ending, and to consciously step across the threshold into the season ahead. So if your eyes are closed, go ahead and flutter them open. And take a look at your ritual space. See if it's adjusted and set up to what feels good. And if you have a candle, have that nearby. If you have a water, have that nearby. And then a symbol of the sun. It could be like a sunflower, could be citrine, which is what this is. I also have this. I don't even know what it's made out of. Honestly, it might be plastic because, again, our practice is not about expense. We don't need expensive things. We just need something that has symbolism and meaning to us. And this one just looks like a little, like a sundial, a little star or a sunburst to me. So whatever you may have that out. If you have incense, go ahead and light that. Perhaps take a moment to circle it clockwise over your head, maybe in front of your heart, around your body, and enjoy that scent. This is also a cleansing action. We're using the incense to help cleanse our space. Again, if you don't have it, it's fine. You can borrow mine. And let's take 3 nice big breaths together. So inhaling, hold slightly at the top, and exhale. A little bit deeper. Inhale, pushing it into your belly, and exhale. Let the shoulders drop, maybe stretch the neck. And one more, maybe the biggest breath you've taken all day. Hold and sigh it out. So we are gathering at the height of the sun. We are gathering at the threshold. The light has reached its fullest expression. The earth is alive with abundance, and yet the wheel begins to turn. So fullness and change arriving together. We're going to take a moment to light our candle, and you can repeat after me if you like. I welcome the light. I welcome what is being revealed. I welcome the light. I welcome what is being revealed. And take a look at your flame and just notice it. Consider all that has grown in your life since the winter months. It's not just accomplishments, it's not just goals, but what qualities have grown? What wisdom have you gained? What relationships have deepened? And what parts of yourself have become stronger? And keeping these in mind, I'd like to offer, I have 3 different mudras. You can use all of them, or one of them, or 2 or none. So our mudra of receiving, I'm going to have my hands up because you can't quite see me, but you just want to place them on your lap, palms upward. So just like this. And imagine yourself receiving the warmth of the summer sun. And if you have a journal handy, you can pull this out. I'm going to offer a couple of questions for reflection, and I will also put them in the chat. And the questions are, what has flourished in my life? And what am I grateful for at this moment in my journey? So what has flourished in my life? And what am I grateful for at this moment in my journey? And what might feel good is holding your item as well, maybe as you either journal or just reflect. So I'll give you a couple minutes to do that. Okay, and start bringing those thoughts to a pause. Our second mudra, mudra of the threshold, pressing your palms together, like a prayer position. But for our purpose this evening, this is the mudra of the crossroads. This is the place between what has been and what is becoming. This is where Hecate stands. This is the place where every meaningful transformation begins. So our questions for this mudra: what threshold am I standing upon? What is changing? And what truth is asking to be acknowledged? So what threshold am I standing upon? What is changing? And what truth is asking to be acknowledged? Okay, bring those thoughts to a pause. And before we move to the next mudra, if you have a small piece of paper, this is going to be something that we burn. I have an option if you're not in a space that's conducive to burning. You can burn in your ritual. You can use your water. I'll talk about that. You can keep it for our time together and then burn it later. My little cauldron is being used for something else, so I don't have my cauldron. You can burn it in a pot on the stove if you have a fire pit, all the options. Safety is always first, not the action that we're doing. So on your piece of paper, write a word, a habit, a fear, an attachment, a belief, or a burden that you are ready to release. So I will put that in the chat. It can be an image, perhaps. But keeping it concise, what are you ready to release? And to keep in mind, what you're writing is not, you're not releasing this because it's bad. You're not releasing it because it somehow failed you, but maybe the work is complete. And I'll give an example. I have been hyper vigilant and I have reasons for that, traumas and experiences during upbringing or certain times in my life, but it doesn't serve me anymore. It served me then, but it doesn't serve me anymore. It's not that it's bad. I just don't need it anymore. Maybe a fear of abandonment, a challenge around self-esteem or perception of self-worth. But we're not judging it because all of these things have appeared for us because there was a necessity at some point. So now we're just acknowledging, thank you. I don't need you anymore. So if you're ready, I'll bring us to the last mudra, and then we're going to work with what you've written on that piece of paper. So this is the mudra of flame. So you're just going to cup your hands together as though you're holding a small fire. And you might want to close your eyes for this. I'm going to invite you to use your imagination to put forth some spell casting in your hands, right? Feel the warmth of your own life force, the creative fire, the passionate fire, the transforming fire, the fire that Kali embodies. Kali is the Hindu goddess of death and rebirth. We're holding in our hands the fire that destroys illusion and makes room for something new. And when you are ready, you can burn your paper using your candle flame. You can hold it in your hands and imagine the burning. Or again, you can set that paper aside to burn in a manner that's safe and works for you when we're done with our time together. And I will put this into the chat to invite you to say this as it burns. I release what has completed its purpose. I release what no longer serves my becoming. I make space for what is yet to emerge. And as you watch it, as you imagine it, notice what arises within you. We're not judging, we're not assigning meaning to it, we're just noticing. What is a body sensation? Where do you feel something? What does it feel like? Is it a warmth? Is it a constriction? Is it an opening? Is it relaxation? Is it tension? We're just noticing what and where. If it feels good, you can put both hands on your lower abdomen, maybe a hand there and one over your heart, maybe both on your heart, maybe somewhere completely different, the throat, the temples. Just explore that and see if any bodily sensations change. And now bring your attention to your bowl of water. And move mine over here. And just dip your fingers lightly into the water and touch it to your forehead or your heart, your throat, your hands, your wrists. Let the water cool and bless the work that you have done and maybe continue to do. Why water? Water receives what fire transforms. Water carries wisdom forward. Take a couple of breaths on your own. You can re-dip your fingers if that feels good. And now turn your attention to your symbol of the sun. Your sunflower, your citrine, your golden object. whatever you may have. Again, if you don't have something, you can hold an image in mind or you can use mine. And look at it carefully. Touch it if it's something that's touchable. Notice the texture. Notice the temperature. Notice, in my instance, the line work. This symbol is not representing what's ending. It's representing what you are choosing to carry forward. So now I invite you to write down a single word, one word of what you are carrying forward, perhaps a quality you wish to cultivate during the second half of the year. I'll put some suggestions in the chat. It could be things like trust. It could be radiance, courage, pleasure, devotion, presence, sovereignty, love. These are just some suggestions. So take a moment and then write your word. And now place your hands over your heart. Feel the warmth of your body. Feel the presence of your chosen word. This word is your ember. This word is the spark being carried forward from our solstice fire. I'm going to bring us to a close. The sun stands high. The wheel turns. The seasons continue their ancient dance. May you celebrate what has flourished. May you release what has completed its work. May you carry your ember wisely into the season ahead. May Hecate guide your crossings. May Kali, she's right there, by the way, burn away illusion. May Freya remind you of your sovereignty, beauty, and worth. And may the light of the solstice illuminate the path before you. Feel free to repeat after me. Blessed Litha, blessed summer solstice, and blessed turning of the wheel. So again, if you are going, you may sit at your altar as long as feels good. This is your space to enjoy. If you're not able to burn your paper, you can dissolve it in the water, just like, mash it up with your fingers. You can bury it in a plant or in the soil. Those would be some of my suggestions. Or take it outside when you can and bury it. The idea is to release it out into the cosmos so that magic and whomever we work with out there can do their work. I think that's all for the sake of the recording, so I will stop the recording now.